He'll change your life.
All right, everyone, welcome to the LVC Live press conference. Here we have Catrina Allen. Catrina Allen is here as our defending FPO champ.
Oh, yeah.
Catrina, first Pro Tour event of the year. We excited? We ready to go?
Yeah, I love it here. I'm excited.
Yeah. How are the courses playing this year?
Well, we couldn't practice until yesterday at 1, so I've played one round, and so that's a great question. I have 2 more rounds to figure that out.
Which course did you play?
Factory, I think.
Which color baskets were they? How about that?
Oh, it's the course that has the black T signs.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So Factory, right?
So I think
Okay.
that's Factory. Yeah. How's obviously we had the All-Star event. You and Kona did really, really well. How are you? Were you able to use that as like a warm up, or how are you feeling about your game? Was there some things that you were kind of exposed that weekend that you're kind of working on now, and how's that all panning out for you?
Yeah, it was a little different format, and like I said before, that event, I didn't have any expectations. I was mostly proud of how I kind of stepped up and got us through worst shot, and really just made sure that we played our best, and you can tell by our scores that we killed that. So, which I think is just part of my mental game and breaking down courses, and so that was something I thought went really well. So I'm just gonna take the good, work on anything that I struggled with, and I've already kind of forgot about last week and am focusing on this week and what I can improve on.
Yeah, great. Starting the year here is first Pro Tour event of the year. Is there a certain way you're approaching this year? I know obviously it's the first event, but it's a long season. But how are you approaching these events going forward? Obviously, points are a big deal towards the end of the year. It all matters, adding up there. So how do you kind of manage all of these different things? The tournament, the points, the long term, the short term.
So what I've always done is you make goals, but there's certain things you have to do to reach those goals. So I kind of tell myself what I want to do, but focus instead of on points and what place I'm going to get. What do I have to do to get there? What do I need to focus on? I need to have a short memory, make sure I'm prepared, continue with my diet and my exercise and field work and putting practice and working on my mental game. And I think if I focus more on those, then points come easier. And I've never been one to focus on ratings or any of those kind of things, and I feel like I've been pretty successful. So,
yeah. How was your off season? Some people may not have seen the press conference last week. This might be their first time tuning in.
Yeah.
Tell people at home wondering how's the off season go? What were you trying to do? Relax, work, and how was that all working out?
So we got to Phoenix, I think, a month or more earlier, which allowed us to continue to throw. Normally we'd be in Oklahoma, Minnesota, snowy, cold, not my style of golf. And so we were able to start practicing a little earlier. I noticed I didn't lose the distance I normally lose from taking 2 or 3 months off. And then that was able to give us time to maybe take a weekend off, enjoy things like the waste management or New Year's Eve, and really just have some good times, but also, be a little bit stronger because we started in the gym earlier and doing field work earlier and things like that.
So,
So like a little mix, a little earlier on the training, but still able taking some breaks, enjoying ourselves, having a good time, and finding that balance.
Yeah. So, what are some things you're looking for on the course to say, like, hey, some of this off-season training is starting to pay off? Like, what are you looking to, if you do certain things, what does that tell you? Yeah.
I just noticed my ability to bounce back, or I just with my diet, my exercise, and my field work and my putting and things like that. I just noticed that I don't know. I just feel a little more confident, feel a little more even keel from changing my diet and things like that. So I don't know. I just feel all that preparation is really good and gives me confidence, and I know it's going to pay off. I just feel really driven and disciplined.
Great. Mahmoud, do you have anything? I guess that's a no.
Okay.
Catrina, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, he does have something. What's up, Mo?
I was wondering, what's it like having Austin on Team
Oh, yeah, I think it's just, um, I don't know, just another advantage, of now we're teammates. I mean, we've always had each other's back, and I feel like he's always been my biggest supporter. And now that's just a little extra special with him also being my teammate. And I know how well I've been treated with Prodigy, and so knowing that he's got that support, I think it's just, yeah, I think it's awesome.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Mo, you good?
How many of your old discs are in his bag right now?
His discs, all of his discs. No, I think me and Kevin Jones have filled up his bag and his backup bin.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Kat.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for
All
having
right,
me.
good luck this weekend.
Okay. Oh my gosh, look how I left the chair. Look how hot it is. I don't
All right, we have Ricky Wysocki here. Ricky, coming off the All-Star game, how do you feel? It's been a week since the All-Star event. How you feeling?
Good. I think the All-Star event was a fun warm-up for me. Being partnered with Kevin, we have such good chemistry. If you guys didn't already tell from the All-Star event, we had fun. It was a blast. I think the Pro Tour did a great job making it a light event. It was still fun. Had a little bit of competition there. Get the fans, get the players, all get the juices flowing for the season. So I think overall, we didn't play the best, but I think it was more about the camaraderie and the format, and really just like a bonus event. So it's awesome to be a part of that.
Yeah, great. So here we are, first big event of the year, first DGPT, Las Vegas Challenge. How are you feeling coming in?
Feeling good. I just played 2 rounds today. It's pretty hot, and so I got 2 rounds, a lot of shots in, a lot of reps. I'm trying to get see as many rounds as I can out here. We got 3 courses to play, so we went straight. I came straight from the All-Star event. As soon as that got done, I was here in Vegas that same night. So I'm really putting in the work and really getting to know these courses, which is it's the key to play well, is knowing the courses and knowing my shots before the tournament starts.
Yeah, how are they laying out for you this year? Any big changes you're noticing? Any adjustments to your game plan?
No, I mean there's a lot of big hyzers out there. I mean you're throwing a lot of hard shots, so. I'm throwing a lot of destroyers for me. That's my go-to disc out here this week. A lot of sidearm and backhand destroyer shots. 450, 500-foot bombs. That's going to be the name of the game this week. And I think for me, it's just going to be dialing in my putting. I think that's, as everybody knows, that's my strong suit, and that's what I can lean on a lot. So I'm just you've been working a lot with my putting and spending a lot of field work sessions and throughout the off-season getting my putt dialed.
Yeah. So Ricky, currently rated the highest player in the world right now. Do you feel like you got a target on your back right now, or something to prove?
Yeah, I think I do. I feel like it's something to where once you achieve that, it's something to where you wanna back it up and keep it. So it's like it's a lot of work to get there, but it's even more work to keep the highest rating, because that means you got to shoot well consistently for a long time. And it's awesome to be back at the top rating, and I'm excited for the challenge to keep it.
Yeah, obviously, I know we talk about this a lot, but there's, you had a really tough year last year with the Lyme disease, and really seems like you're on a bounce back right now, and you're a big momentum guy. Is that something you can build momentum off of, all the work you've been putting in to get your body back where it needs to be?
Yeah, I think it all boils down to the health side for me. I took a whole different direction. I started eating healthy, as many of you may know from my Instagram posts and working with nutritionists, and really that's really changed my perspective on life, and it's really allowed me to be healthy, to get healthy and stay healthy throughout the season. I'm always going to local juice bars. I just went to the juice bar that was local here in Vegas, so I'm always finding the local healthy spots to really keep my body in shape. We're athletes. We got to take care of our bodies like athletes, and you got to make sure that you control what you put in it, and reducing the sugars, eating less processed food, more clean, organic meats, organic vegetables, that type of stuff. I've really developed a passion for health just from what I've went through, and I love helping people, and I think it's inspiring a lot of disc golfers to really see that we're taking it serious, and I'm trying to play disc golf at the top level for as long as I can, and that means taking care of my body.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be on our live feature card. And there are 3 players on that card rated 950 or higher. What does that do to a vibe of a card? Is that something you notice? Is that something you pay attention to, or what can that do for you during the round?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely makes you play to a higher skill level. I think that that's a big thing. Like when I'm practicing for a tournament, I want to play with good players, because you're seeing good shots. You're seeing how shots should be executed, and same thing in a tournament. You see good shots become normal, because we're doing that a lot. Obviously, the top players are throwing good shots at a high level a lot of the time. So it's different than when you're seeing some, not to be a dick or anything, but like a lower level player that is thrown in the water or something. You're playing a practice round, you're throwing in the water, shanking sideways, and all this other stuff. So that can kind of taint your mind and being like, oh, I guess this is what could happen, as opposed to like playing with Calvin and me and Paul, and we're just lacing shots. So that becomes normal. You just see that and you're like, all right, that's what you're supposed to do. Boom. And so it's kind of a confidence builder playing with that high of skill set of players. So I think that I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to raise the bar and play to that level.
It's also like, I feel like there's that measuring 6 right there, right in front of you. Like here's the other best players in the world. You just got to keep pace with that. Is that, yeah, just kind of takes the guessing out of it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely it sees, like, if there's certain conditions, you can kind of see how it's affecting the top level players, and I think that's important, especially when it gets windy out here. The course completely changes. I mean, you can play the same course, and it can play 5 to 10 strokes harder based on if there's 20 or 30 mile an hour winds. With all the bunkers, it brings a lot of the drives and makes them a lot harder. So yeah, it's definitely good. It's a pace setter, I guess, so to say. And obviously we're all playing our own games, but at the same time, it's nice to be able to see what other players are doing at their same skill set.
First event of a very long season, where you have to pay attention to both short-term goals and long-term goals. There's the points, but there's also, tournament finishes and all that stuff. How do you approach managing those two things, trying not without getting ahead of yourself, or also just like being in the moment kind of thing?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think for me, it's more of, I put in so much work and preparation. Like I said, playing 2 rounds a day, rushing over here to get as much practice as I can. I think that really allows my brain to work and just focus on this week. This week was just, I woke up, on Monday morning, and I'm like, all right, wake up early, practice. My goal was to get dialed in on the courses. And once I'm dialed in on the courses, that's going to lead me to feel comfortable during the tournament. And if I'm comfortable in the tournament, that's going to lead to a good finish. So it's kind of like building blocks. Each week's a new fresh start, and I think that's awesome. I think whether if I win a tournament, if I have a bad finish, or if I have a solid finish, anywhere in between, I think just having a fresh start is awesome for my mindset, and just going through the motions. And it's weird in the middle of the season. It's kind of like, I try not to get too burned out and, take off weeks when I need it, so that way I reset my mind, so that way I'm not really going through the motions. I'm really focused, and I'm really know exactly what I want to do, what shots I want to throw on the course, and so it all comes down to preparation for me.
Great. I had one more question for you, and is eluding me. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yeah. So the Saki Bomb is back at the Ledgestone was like this really amazing emotional moment for all the fans. What was it like for you?
Yeah, no. If you guys didn't hear the question, it's Saki Bomb is back, and what does that mean to me? And it means a lot. I think that just having that slogan, having that saying, it's something that adds a little bit of pressure too. It's like, it's cool to be back and it's cool to be healthy, but at the same time, it's like being the highest rated player. It also adds pressure. Like, Saki Bomb's back. I'm like, all right, I got to prove that Saki Bomb is back. I'm playing at a high level, making putts, and competing for wins at these tournaments. So I think that that's the most important thing, is for me to be able to play well under the pressure, that with the highest rating, with Saki Bomb being back and all the different variables. I play well under the pressure, and I think that's where I thrive, and that's where I've set myself apart. So I think that having that extra pressure might actually lead me to play better.
Anything else, Mo? That's it? Okay.
All right.
Ricky, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you out there.
All right, everybody, we're here with Hailey King, defending DGPT champion, and will be featured on our live card this weekend at the LVC. Hailey, coming off of the All-Star game, how are you feeling coming into LVC?
I haven't played much disc golf, so I'm getting back into the throwing, and it's actually really nice. I'm throwing a lot further than what I remember, and feeling really good, nice and healthy, so I'm excited.
Yeah, these are obviously big open bomber courses. Feeling like, yeah, your game is ready for these big long drives over and over and over and over again.
Definitely, yeah. I've been keeping healthy, so hoping so.
Great. You are going to be on one of our feature cards. What is that like getting that call up? It seems like every time now you're getting on that feature card, you're getting in front of the cameras, getting yourself out there.
It's really cool, something I never really expected. Being able to be with the elite players is something really cool, and I'm really happy to be here playing with them.
Great. So have you been able to play all the courses?
Yeah, I've actually played all 3 already.
Yeah, you have. Great. How are they playing for you right now? Any big differences, changes that you're noticing?
I'm throwing a lot of shots really hard, and then it's a lot of safe, like, you got to be strategical with your up shots. So basically throw hard and then safe up shot.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to manage that kind of thing? Because you are basically, there's so many tee shots out here that you can literally just go out and go full power. Is that something you have to manage, or is that not really catching up with you yet?
It's not catching up yet. I'm still just chucking hard and having fun with it.
Yeah, great. Are there any specific things in the off seasons you were working on, whether it's part of the game, part of the mental game, anything like that you're hoping to kind of put into practice this week?
Well, I actually didn't play much disc golf. I played like less than 15 rounds, so I was taking care of my body the whole time. I'd say more so that was mentally, just being able to keep my body in health and ready for next 10 years of disc golf.
Mm-hmm. What are your expectations going into this weekend then?
I've never placed well here. I just want to have fun and throw shots that I know I can do, just be more consistent.
Mm-hmm. Really long season about to start, getting kicked off in just a day or two here. How are you approaching this season? Obviously, there's a lot of short-term goals as far as like placing well in tournaments, but there's also, the points aspect of the Pro Tour, where obviously you want to get into the Pro Tour final. How do you manage those different goals for each weekend, both the short-term and the long-term?
I'm just keeping positive and just trying to just keep moving forward. I don't want to go backwards, so that's all I'm trying to focus on right now.
Sounds great. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
What's it like playing in the warm Vegas heat as opposed to being back home in Wisconsin where it's like minus 20 all the time?
Oh, it's really nice. Yeah, I went from negative 20 to 70 degrees, so that was a big change. Went from being not able to throw any disc to being able to throw 100 discs every shot, every tee shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that one of the reasons why you weren't really playing in the off season?
Yeah, it was one of the reasons, but mainly I was just trying to focus on my health. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Mahmoud?
I'm good.
All right. Hailey King, thank you so much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody, we have Paul McBeth, 5-time world champion. We're coming off the All-Star game, and now we are in Las Vegas. How are you feeling coming off that event into this one?
Feeling good. It was a fun warm-up event. We got to mess around with the doubles a little bit with James and then go out there and battle it out. It was cool having 6 people tied going into one round because it's kind of like, all right, here it is. It's all on the line. So it was a lot of fun, a good experience leading up to this one, and be back there in a couple weeks, so that'll be nice.
Great. First big event of the year, Disc Golf Pro Tour kicking off in just a couple days. How's your game feeling coming into, of course, these 3 courses?
Game feels good. It is really weird coming out and having to learn 3 courses. I came here a couple years ago, but I mean, still having to practice 3 courses is kind of difficult, especially with them not opening up until 1 p.m. yesterday. So you only get 2.5 days really to learn these courses. So not really enjoying that, but it's an even playing field, I guess, in that situation.
Is there anything different you do for kind of a tight like study window?
Not much more, I can do. I can only get out there and play each course once. I mean, physically, it's demanding to get out there and throw all these holes and learn them. And I mean, it takes a toll on the body, especially the hands, throwing that many shots. So going out there, just only getting to see each hole once pretty much is what it'll look like. We still got tomorrow, but I mean, there's 3 courses out here. So 2.5 days is kind of hard crunching them in there and trying to learn them and learning where all the OBs are because there is so much water, sand traps, and even ropes out there. So not feeling confident as much as I'll know the course and all the rules, but hopefully I'm putting them close to the basket to where I don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to be on the live feature card. There's 3 players on that card that are rated 1050 or higher. Is that something you noticed going in? And if so, what does that do to the vibe of the card? Does that change your approach? Are you paying attention more, or are you just trying to still stay within your own game?
To be honest, I don't know who's on the card. So, I mean, I know you said 1050, but coming off the top of my head, what is that? Ricky, Chris, I don't know who else. Calvin. Yeah. I mean, I play with them all the time. So, nothing's going to be different.
Great. First event of a very long season, hopefully a lot longer than last year.
Definitely, yep.
How do you, the big first event of the year, how do you go in with, these short-term goals as far as, placing at a tournament and the long-term goals of racking up the points enough to be in the Tour Championship?
The goal this week and every week is to go out there and win. That's the same goal for each event that I enter. I want to go in there and win. I don't care what other place, I end up finishing. If it's not first, I'm not satisfied with it. So, if I, do that, then I don't really have to worry about the Pro Tour Championship. I want to go in there and play each event and treat it as its own. So hopefully I can get to all of the Pro Tours. I made my schedule pretty large this year because, we are still dealing with the COVID and the protocols and stuff like that. So if all the events happen, great. My goal is to get to as many as I can. If not, I completely understand. We're still stuck in a bit of a pandemic here. We don't know if the international travel is going to happen for us or if international players can get here. So I'm hopeful that I can play all of them and hopeful that we even have a championship.
Great. So obviously every player putting in work in the off season, preparing. What is it going to be for you if you go out and execute something? What is it going to say to you? Like, all right, yeah, my off-season preparation was good and was working for you.
Yeah, I just want to go out there and win. That's really what I'm going and working for in the winter. I feel like the off season for me is where I do all my hard work, and this is kind of the part I get to enjoy, that work that I put in the off season. So this is the fun part for me. This is where I get to compete and put my skills to work. And put them out there for people to see. So, like I said, this is the fun part for me. This is where I get to enjoy the competition. If my off season proves anything, then I'll be coming home with some titles and having some fun.
You might be one of the players who's played in front of the camera more than almost anyone in the sport. Is that ever on your mind, or is that completely just past it? You're used to it. The cameras are just there and you just play.
Honestly, it's different with each camera crew. Each cameraman's a little different. Some are quicker, some are slower. So sometimes it's a slower pace. Sometimes it's quicker. We got to wait with our sport, our cameras are traveling hole to hole. So we kind of got to wait for them to get into position. So I do have some experience there, being a little bit more patient than probably newer players when they do get in front of the camera. So that's if they watch this, as a little tip, be patient. But yeah, I mean the cameras. I've had cameras my whole life, just with sports in general. So I am kind of used to the cameras being around and just kind of being me around the cameras and just kind of focusing in on the tournament or the task I have at hand, and just letting the cameras do their job, and I'm going to do mine, and hopefully they come together and make one great piece for people to watch.
Mm-hmm. Last week we had another interview. You were talking about how you wanted to maybe get back to partly at least to the mentality of a younger Paul McBeth, where he's a little bit more aggressive, running things like that. Can we expect to see that from you coming out of the gate this weekend?
Yeah, always. I'm looking forward to not really laying up. I think that was a good warm up there at Fountain Hills. Anytime there was water behind the basket, I wasn't worried about missing. I was like, my goal here is to make it, and I'm going to try to make it. And if I hit the basket, great. If I miss it, I was going to miss it whether there was water behind it or not. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have some fun out there and hopefully throw some good shots and make some big putts and entertain more than I have in the past, because I feel like I've slacked the last couple of years, and I don't want to do that anymore.
You've been hearing it from the fans. They're like, come on, Paul, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been some people out there saying that, and I don't want to disappoint anyone unless they're mad that I'm winning.
Yeah, great. Just trying to please all the people at home. Hey, Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. 1 second. So, Paul, the PDGA recently gave Chris Dickerson the PDGA Player of the Year award. Does that light a fire under you at all?
It just shows me that the PDGA isn't really consistent. They didn't want to have a world ranking system for 2020 because of COVID, but they're going to give a Player of the Year. So just shows their inconsistency and that they kind of need to work on that, because if they're going to hold that back, they might as well hold the Player of the Year. And I don't even want to touch on the FPO, because that was even more lopsided the wrong way.
Anything else, Mo?
Yeah. I mean, same thing with Ricky taking that number one ranking. Does that matter to you at all, or do you still consider yourself the best player in the world?
Well, I mean, to touch on the thing with Chris, I mean, I think Chris won the major, and he was definitely in the conversation, so I don't want to take anything away from him. That was just on the consistency of the world rankings and the Player of the Year. But as far as the rankings, I mean, I played a tournament at home, a league, which kind of affected my rating, which is kind of weird, but I don't really care. I'm going to go out and, I mean, I like to say that the ratings have never won me a tournament, so they don't really matter to me.
That's all I got.
All right. Paul, thank you very much.
Cool.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we are here with Ohn Scoggins. Ohn, our virtual putting champion, and also here at the first event of the Pro Tour for the season. Let me start with the VPI thing. Do you think you're the best putter in the world?
No.
Well, there's a lot of people who would actually argue, I think, that say that you would be. Where did you get, how did you get so good at putting, I guess, just to put it simply?
I practice a lot every day. It's no secret about it. I practice like 200, sometimes 250 putts a day, and just have big stack of putter, and then just probably 20, 30 minutes. And then I putt almost every day, so that has helped me with become a good putter. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So here we are at the first event of the year, the Las Vegas Challenge. How are you feeling going into this event? How are the courses for you?
I'm very exciting, and the court is not fit me much because I'm not thoroughfare anyway. But if you wanna be a better player, you need to prepare yourself to every course. So that's why I come early on Sunday and then just try to throw a lot every course and throw 4 or 5 days every hole and just learn the course and just pretty much just prepare myself for the big tournament, because this is the first big tournament of the year. I'm very exciting, and I just gonna practice hard to achieve my goal. Maybe hopefully I make top 10 would be nice. So yeah.
Great, yeah. So recently promoted to the Innova Star team. Does that mean you're going to be out on tour all year? You're going to be putting in, make an effort to be at all the big ones this year?
Yeah. So I'm very thank you, and Innova just big support me, and I love them so much, and my plan is to just play more. Of course, you guys gonna see me out there more, and I sign up for a lot of big tournaments so far, and then I'm going to sign up more. So I'm hopefully maybe 20, 25 or maybe more. Oh, wow. For the out there. But the main thing is I want to play the most I can, because I want to get invited to the Pro Tour. What's that?
Championship?
Yes. I would love to go that one. So that's why I want to play more the big tournament, and hopefully I can get in. So.
Well, I know a lot of people would love to see you there.
Yeah.
What inspired you to really take a jump and really try and get out to the big tournaments this year?
First of all, I get promoted to Team Star, and then my husband, he's very big support of me, and he was like, "Why not, baby? Just give it a try. Just try maybe 1 year and see. If you tour and then be out there with a great player. I want to see you out there. And also because he believed in me, and he want me to believe in myself. I can do out there. So he inspired me, and then Innova inspired me to be out there. And then my fan, of course. My fan was like, "Hey, Ohn, I think you can do it out there. Why not? Just give it a try." That's why I'm like, why not,
Yeah. Great. So, how are you approaching this year then? A big schedule, lots of tournaments. How do you manage all of them, both the short-term goals and the long-term goals that you have this year?
So that one is, for me, it's just whatever because last year I didn't play a lot, right? So for me, this year, I just try to be out there and then play big tournament, and hopefully I can get better with a lot of course. I want to be out there. I want to make a top 10 at World if I can, and then I have to make plan ahead, of course, every tournament. So I have to look at my schedule and then make my schedule. Maybe book hotel and so to just go to the next tournament, and then hit up people so I can just share place with them. But traveling is kind of hard for this year because we have COVID. But we have if I have to do, I have to do. So just be safe. Just try. Hopefully, I'm safe out there.
So let's fast forward to the end of the weekend. What would be a good, successful weekend for you here at LVC?
Top 10. Top 10 easily, because last year I played so bad. But that was last year. This year can be something like very exciting for me, and I think my game is better than last year. Top 10 will be nice for me, because like a lot of great players coming for this tournament, and of course Paige Pierce, Kat, Jane, and Kona, whatever. It's a lot of great players. So if I can make top 10, I'm happy.
Great.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the live feature card. Is that something new for you? Have you ever been on a live card before?
It's quite rare. Yeah, it's quite rare. So I cannot. I don't remember what is the last time I jumped into the future card. But anyway, so hopefully you guys can see me more this year in the future card. So I'll try to work out there, but I'm very excited. I was surprised myself too when I see it. I'm like, what, really? I'm like, okay, I'm very excited, and that's why I come out and I work hard. So hopefully I'm not disappointed, fan out there or people watching us. Yeah.
So maybe a little extra pressure being on the feature card.
Of course, very nervous and exciting, but I think in a good way. Because I think if you wanna. Like I said, I have to prepare myself for everything. Future card or last card, whatever. But I think the more you prepare yourself with the future card, the more you less nervous. I think I have to work on that one. So, but I'm exciting.
Great. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yeah. So you said that you don't have the distance to keep up at Las Vegas. But you won the challenge at Goat Hill last year, and you beat Jen Allen at the challenge at Goat Hill. So how does that make you feel? Does that maybe change your mind that you can compete out here on these bigger courses?
So you're saying how you didn't maybe have the distance of some of the other players, but you beat Jennifer Allen at Goat Hill. So, I mean, how does that influence you at all? Does it give you any extra confidence?
I think that was like putting. Putting was helping me a lot. I mean, she probably overdrive me like what? Oh my God, 70, 80 every hole. But my putting is helping me, because even I'm like 30 or 35, I make a lot of putt just on that range, and also from that month last year to this month, I think my driving is getting better. So hopefully I can do better on this weekend. I'm very excited, so I feel like my backhand is getting better, and I'm gonna working on putting more, and so you never know. Everybody can.
Anybody can win any weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahmoud?
That's everything.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. What's your name, sir?
All right, we are here with Kona star Panis, or also known as Kona All-Star Panis. Kona, you're coming off of a big win for you at the All-Star match. It's been a couple days. How are you feeling right now?
I'm still soaking it in. Colton and I are still celebrating, and I'm still trying to find the words. I know I said that on Instagram, and someone's like, "What do you mean? You just typed 5 paragraphs. You're having a hard time finding words?" And I'm like, just shut it. But it's a huge confidence booster. I keep on saying that over and over again, but it's true. Just knowing, I'm going to say it again, just knowing that I can do it. I can take down some of the top women in our sport. So that's huge for me.
Yeah. Would you say this is one of the bigger wins in your career, if not the biggest?
Oh, the biggest ever, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So, how do you take that confidence and carry that with you throughout the year?
I still kind of have some insecurities with my putt. I'm constantly working on it, constantly improving on it. But during that event, I felt like I was on another level of focus. And I think I like to say that just because I practiced really hard during the off season and just really focused a lot on putting every single day. Colton and I were really doing a lot of putting practice. So knowing that even in those stressful pressure situations, I can still make those putts. So.
Mm-hmm. So here we are, Las Vegas Challenge, first big event of the year, first Pro Tour event of the year. How are you feeling coming into this, and how are the courses looking for you?
So I'm feeling a little sore. The All-Star layout, I loved the Safari layout at Fountain Hills. I wish, Memorial was always like that layout. I enjoyed it a lot. But, I'm feeling a little sore, so I'm icing. I'm doing a lot of disc golf strong workouts. Today I played half of Innova and, threw a few different shots, but I'm kind of letting my arm rest, taking a lot of notes, doing a lot of like Bushnell, ranging, and making sure I know my distances for when we actually go out there. But I'm feeling good. We played the Infinite course yesterday, and I'm throwing farther than I've ever thrown at these courses. So I'm changing my discs than last year. Last year I was throwing a lot of destroyers on some shots, and I feel like I'm able to kind of disc down to like a Leopard 3, and that kind of gives me some more confidence and more control.
Yeah, you've always had a big arm. How are you finding more distance? Where are you looking, and where are you finding it?
I kind of liked it. I'm going to give my brother a shout out for this one. We did a bunch of CrossFit during the 5 weeks that I was home before we hit the road. So we did some lifting. We had this thing called the murder bike, and we did a lot of circuits together as a family. So not only was I bonding with, my mom, my dad, my brother, and Colton, but I was actually getting some good reps in. I'm still trying to do a normal push-up. I'm still trying to get there. I'm still, on the knee doing a push-up for those. But I seriously think getting my body right, and I also switched my diet. I'm gluten-free, and Colton and I are also kind of going more organic, making all of our meals, so we haven't been eating out much, and I feel like my mind is more clear and my body's never felt better.
Great. So obviously, again, first big event of the year, but also points matter in the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the whole scope of the year. How do you approach the short-term goals of trying to get a good place at a tournament and the long-term goals of making the Tour Championship at the end of the year?
I think I'm gonna roll with the punches in a way, because every Disc Golf Pro Tour, everyone has a chance to win and to play really well, and I think it's just gonna be on, I have to be on my game. I have to make sure my putt's feeling good. The drives I'm not super worried about. Right now I'm kind of focusing on my backhand up shots, but for the points and stuff, I'm playing every single DGPT. I signed up for the Tour Pass this year, so trying to make every single one. So, and I also have that goal of trying to make top 10 in every event I play. So, really pushing myself this year, putting the pressure on. I don't think I really pushed myself that hard last year. I kind of had some really low expectations. So this year I'm pushing, I'm putting the pressure on, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
Great. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yeah, so Anna McBeth actually made a post on Instagram showing you caddying for Paul, 5 or 6 years ago. and now you guys are both all-star champions. How does that make you feel when you look back on you starting the sport just like not that long ago?
When Hannah posted that, it was like, whoa, like I totally forgot I even made that post. And looking back at that post, I read it and it was crazy. I'm like, dang, I'm seeing all these pros throw these shots that I'm not even coming close to, and these putts that I'm not even close to making yet. And it's crazy, obviously a few years later, and now I'm, competing with the best. And it's cool. Paul actually reached out to me after I won, and he said congrats. And the first thing I said was, I'm a fan of your work ethic, and now I know what it takes to do that. And I hope I can just keep pushing. And it's crazy to see how far I've come, and I hope to keep on pushing, keep on improving.
Awesome. That's everything for me.
Great. I guess one more question. I remember you were talking about how when you were training for the All-Star game, you were using your rangefinder, dialing in those distances. Did the numbers help you prepare?
They do. Colton and I have this course / little practice area in Rancho Cucamonga called Ralph M. Lewis, and it's literally just a bowl with like 7 different baskets. And what we kind of did during the off season, like we went to the course and I would kind of range from a certain distance and throw from that same distance everything out of my bag, see what kind of went that far, what didn't go that far. And now I'm kind of translating it to the course. If I range 300, I'm like, okay, that's a T-bird or a leopard 3, like, straight shot, kind of simple. And it's just crazy to see how the rangefinder has totally changed my game and also really, really helped it and kind of taken away the pressure of like, what do I throw? It's okay, range, distance. These are the discs that go in that distance. Which one's going to work? So it definitely narrows the all the other stuff going on in my head.
Great. Kona, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Good luck
guys.
this weekend.
Thanks. Heck yeah, Sam.
Good so far. Yeah, I've gotten 2 practice rounds in so far and have time to do 1 more tomorrow at least. But yeah, I'm excited to throw some long shots and on every hole pretty much.
Yeah. So as far as the All-Star game goes, how did you walk away feeling about that one? Was it? I know it wasn't quite how you planned to go. Obviously, with the doubles might have kind of thrown a wrench in your plan. But
yeah,
how are you feeling about the event as a whole?
Oh, good. I mean, the All-Stars kind of the only thing lingering in my mind about that right now is the discs that are still in the water. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I heard out here at least one of the days. So. You know, I was going to be putting some new discs in my bag anyway, so just trying to look at the bright side, not think too much about the discs that are laying at the bottom of that fountain and just try to move forward. I got a bunch of good backups, and yeah, I honestly, every hole out here is just rip it as hard as you can. So, yeah, my drivers are flying good, and I'm getting to know the greens pretty well, knowing which holes get the skip, which holes don't, and which ones I can attack.
Do you feel like courses like this, you have an advantage?
I think so, yeah, and I think just being like active and healthy and you know, younger. I'm 29, so I'm kind of on the upper end, I guess. There's a bunch of these like new 20-year-olds out here, but yeah, just staying like fit and active. I think that is going to translate into my scores as well. Just playing 4 rounds instead of 3, and also out here in this hot Vegas sun, I'm sure you can see it coming in. On these long courses, yeah, just kind of maintaining the energy and keeping a level head.
Mm-hmm. Anything in the off season you did to prepare you a little bit extra for the beginning of the season? Do you feel more prepared, less prepared than you do at the beginning of the season normally?
Yeah, I definitely feel more prepared. I've been eating right. I've been you know, working out a lot and trying to stabilize my muscles that we use in disc golf. So I feel more balanced. Physically and mentally, and yeah, I feel like I'm aligning myself up for future success in just what I was doing this off season, and also being in Hawaii, getting that sun. It's feels nice to me. Everyone else is walking around with sunburns, and I feel like I'm used to it. So,
so it seems like you've been, you know, walking around the course with a target on your back for years now. How do you carry that?
I love that feeling. I love that feeling. I want to pump people up. That's kind of how my dad raised me, is kind of like that tough love, just punching you on your shoulder, like, come on, like, you can hit harder than that, or whatever it may be. So I want to encourage people in that same way naturally, without even thinking about it. Like, you know, I just like talking crap, basically. And I know that you guys probably see Kevin Jones and Rick going at it like that in the All-Star weekend. That's how the guys do it too, and they're just like, oh, you're not going to get anywhere close to this basket, and then they're like, watch, and so I kind of like that, and I like having the target on my back and kind of yeah, giving someone something to press for. I like that.
Yeah. So is that kind of like a way you kind of turn that motivation onto yourself, so that you can keeping that target on your back? You want to carry that with you. You want to keep going with that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to push the sport to new heights. I know that there are 99% of people watching this are not throwing to their best potential, you know, and myself included sometimes. So, like, you'll see a lot of people that they want to say, how do I throw farther? How do I throw better? And it doesn't even look like they're trying. Like, they're trying to make it look pretty, and it's like, throw the disc, like, actually rip it. And so, yeah, I want to kind of be like, oh, push it farther. You got more distance, like whatever it may be. So I just want to just push the sport farther. And if I can continue in my game, I know that people will continue to chase me. And so, you know, whether I'm at the top pushing that forward, or whether I start to fall back and I'm now chasing someone else, like I'm excited about that.
Great. So specifically, here, what's a good weekend for you when you wake up on Monday morning? What if you are happy about the tournament? What happened in the tournament?
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think just that all the shots that I was lining up, you know, you have your 30 seconds to line up a shot. So when I get to my lie, I want to have made my decision by 20 seconds, and then those last 10 seconds are just the execution. And so at that 20-second mark, I just want to know that the decision I made right there I stuck to, basically. I don't want any of the wish-washy mental game. This being the first event of the season, I want to just set myself up as a good mental player. I know that I can throw all these shots. Maybe I'll miss a few here and there, but, there's nothing you can do about that. But I want to set myself up moving forward in this year and strong mental game, because that is what it takes to win a world title.
Mm-hmm. Is that the ultimate goal for you this year?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I guess how do you manage the long-term goals and the short-term goals? Obviously, short-term goals, place well at tournaments, win, get points, but the points all add up at the end of the year. How do you not look too far forward, stay in the moment, and how do you balance all that?
Yeah, I don't really think about the points too much. To be honest, it's kind of something that just happens. It just comes, I know I'm a top 2 player in the world at any given weekend. And so it's kind of just being there, just going there. And so I don't really think about that. Like, I know I'm going to make the Pro Tour championship at the end of the year, whether that's as the number 1 seed or the number 8 seed. That's who cares, really. It's that's going to happen. So I try not to think about those things. I try to think more so about, like I said, prepping myself. What can I learn from this weekend that will help me next weekend and the weekend after and the weekend after?
Mm-hmm. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yeah, so last year you took home 7 Disc Golf Pro Tour wins, which is ties your own record for most Disc Golf Pro Tour wins in a single season. What do you do for an encore? How do you top that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to set new goals and not try to think about that. I mean, there are 11 Pro Tours this year, I think, so that is possible to surmount that. But, 7 out of 11 is pretty good. So I feel like, if that happened, that would be an additional bonus. But really, I just want to be up there fighting for it every time. It's not so much to me. I know we touched on this at the All-Star Weekend, but it's not so much to me if I'm holding the trophy or if I've won the tournament. It's more so about the player it's making me become. And a lot of times those wins or those near losses are more important than the trophy. It's the lessons you learned in trying to get there. The feelings you faced on hole 16, 17, and 18 when it's a one-stroke battle, and those kind of moments. I think those are things you can't practice. When we're all having our practice rounds, you can't practice those feelings. So just playing tournaments at these high levels like this is preparation for me.
Cool. And one more follow-up. Even with those 7 wins, Catrina Allen, I don't know if you saw this, was recently named the PDGA Player of the Year. How did it make you feel when you saw that?
We'll just say #fake news. I'm going to keep it short on that one.
All right. Paige Pierce, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. We are here with Adam Hammis. Adam, some early preseason wins for you, kind of repeating what you did last year. What is it about the preseason that you're feeling sharp early on in the year?
I just been feeling great. Just working hard this off season to get healthier. Just getting my game dialed, trying to get a little bit bigger, trying to throw the disc a little bit further. Yeah, just feeling great. Came out of the season, did exactly what I wanted to do, and got those 2 wins early, so happy with it.
Yeah, was there anything specifically clicking for you in those 2 tournaments? Something different in each tournament, or was there some commonality between the 2?
Just trying to play the same game. It's open Arizona golf, so same kind of shots, same style of golf. So just kind of carry the same mentality over from the Shelley Sharp to into Maricopa.
Yeah.
So.
Are you a believer in momentum? You think you can carry some of the success in those preseasons into the regular season here?
I do believe in momentum. This is obviously a lot bigger, so I got to come in with a little bit stronger game plan and stuff like that. So just come in and see what I can do out here.
Great. So have you had a chance to play all the courses out here?
Yep, I just finished up my last round, so I've got 1 round on each courses, trying to get at least another round on each of them. So
how are they setting up for you? How are they feeling?
Good. It's just same style as Arizona golf, so I'm just feeling right there, just feeling great. So a lot of Raptors, a lot of Forces, a lot of Nukes. So
yeah, great. So what's a successful weekend look like for you?
Top 10. Obviously, I'm gonna want to shoot top 5, but if I had to take top 10, I'd be happy.
Great. So this is the start of a long year. Hopefully, a full calendar this year. How do you manage those short-term goals of getting top 5, top 10 at every tournament, and also make sure you're racking up enough points to be able to be featured in the Pro Tour Championship?
For me, just stay calm, take every event one at a time. Don't get ahead of myself. Don't look forward to an event too much, and don't have a bad tournament. Don't dwell on it. Look back on it. Just kind of take one every day as it goes, and I think that'll be the best way for me to succeed.
Is that being in the moment? Is that taking practice for you? Does that take just time and time again, just trying to stay in the moment? Is that something you've ever struggled with, or is that something you've learned? Or
I've definitely gotten better at it. I have struggled in the past with carrying over bad shots and bad rounds. So trying to just stay calm this year and just work on that.
Great. Mahmoud?
Yeah, Adam, you're as of this last ratings update, you joined a very, very exclusive group of players who are rated 1040 and above. Does that number mean anything to you, or is it just
being 1040 definitely means something to me. I mean, reaching 1040 was definitely a huge milestone. I'm definitely super pumped about it, but just don't get too excited about it. Just keep pushing. I'm not at the top yet, trying to get there. So,
what's in between you and getting to that, being one of the elite top players in the world?
Just dial my shots a little bit better, make sure I stay consistent, and then a mental game probably a little bit.
Mahmoud, anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. We did an Instagram post of you making all kinds of crazy putts out at Maricopa and Shelley Sharp, and Big Germ actually commented on that post and said that
oh, we might have lost him.
I'm
sorry. We'll get him back. Big Germ did make a comment. I don't know what it was, so hold on. We'll get him back real quick. Stand by, everybody at home. Phone call. Technical difficulties.
I've been having trouble with service here as well.
Yeah. A
lot of people here.
Hard to get a phone call out. Well, I guess we can talk about the putting. Is that an extra focus you've been putting on?
Oh yeah, I worked a lot on my putt this off season. I've always had great confidence with putting on the green, and it all came together for those first 2 tournaments, and definitely trying to keep that rolling. I put a lot of practice into it, so.
Great. Hold on. I think we're gonna get him. Hey, yeah. What was that question again? You finished that?
Yeah, Big Germ compared you to a young Ricky Wysocki. How does that comparison make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I mean, Ricky obviously is still known as one of the best putters in the world, and being that comment from Big Germ is obviously a huge compliment to be able to him to say that I'm right there with Ricky, a young Ricky. So yeah, it's nice to hear, I guess.
Great. Mahmoud?
That's everything.
All right. Adam Hammes, thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we are here with James Conrad. James, first big event of the year is just a couple nights away, a couple days away. How are you feeling going into Las Vegas Challenge?
I'm feeling good. The All-Star event was kind of big, but just squeezed into that one last minute, and I didn't play my best out there, but it was still a great experience and good to get like a first couple competitive rounds in, like with the pressure of the cameras on and playing against some great golfers. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm feeling better about this course than I was about Fountain. I was here for about a week before I went down to Arizona, so feeling good out here.
Yeah, I guess the big news is you are now sponsored by MVP discs. How's the change been going for you, and how's the new plastic?
I'm really enjoying the new plastic. It's been a new experience for me, changing companies. Like Innova was my first sponsor, and I stuck with them about 5 years, so I've never really had to rebuild a bag from scratch. But it's fun, having a whole bunch of discs to work with and being able to kind of go back to ground level, doing the field work, just like experimenting with different discs, different angles with different discs and all that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I feel like I've really started to get the bag dialed. I started to feel pretty comfortable with a lot of the discs, and especially the slower discs. I've never been one for like speed 12, 13, 14 too much. So, but everything from speed like 11 down, I'm super comfortable with right now, and I don't think I need much more than that out here to score well.
Mm-hmm. What is it like? What's the process like rebuilding a bag basically from scratch, right? Like, I don't know how much MVP you had even thrown before that moment that you switched over. What was that whole process like?
I'm not sure what it's normally like, but for me it was when I went up to MVP, they just gave me like a huge spread of discs, pretty much everything they had on hand, and then some. They gave me some to try out, so I was kind of started just with some field work and just throwing a whole bunch of different molds, throwing them different ways, and if one felt great in the hand or I was getting some cool flights out of it, I'd kind of throw it in the bag and start testing those ones that I was enjoying on some practice rounds or some casual rounds. Then there was also some asking, like, I had some conversations with some folks that are more comfortable with MVP and kind of explained how I like to throw and what kind of discs and shapes I was looking for. So got some really valuable feedback from people like that, and that definitely helped me narrow down what I was going to be throwing. And then from there, it's just getting in some reps, getting comfortable with the disc, getting to where you can trust that if you release it on a little bit of Anheuser, that it will fight back, or seeing what disc will like hyzer flip for you to straight, just getting in those reps and getting comfortable.
It seems like, you, Sarah Hokum, and yourself now seem to be the face of MVP. What's that like for you? Is there pressure there? Is there, is it just like, is it fun? Is it, how does that feel being the face of a disc company now?
I feel lucky, there's not a ton of companies in disc golf, so there's not a lot of those positions available, if you will. Like there's only, a handful of us that are in that position. So it's definitely an honor to be represented, and it makes me feel, I guess it makes me feel a little more important, and there is probably some added pressure, but I feel like I generally do better with a little bit of extra pressure. So it's fun, and it's an exciting opportunity.
Or is there any kind of collaboration between you and MVP, working on some new projects, maybe some new plastic, anything MVP fans can look forward to?
Yeah, MVP is going to be working with me to come out with like a Conrad edition, like my own line of discs. The first one's going to be a putter, and that one's well in the works, so it shouldn't be terribly long before that one's ready, and I'm super excited for that.
What's the design process like? Your involvement in what's it like to design a disc for yourself?
It was really cool. I was able to sit down for quite a while with Chad Richardson. He's one of the owners and the engineer at the company, and we went into more detail than I had ever even thought about on discs, looking at diagrams of them, looking at disc cut in half, like just seeing the different thicknesses and seeing like we're a little bit of a different shape here or there, like what kind of difference that can make in hand feel and flight, and like measuring my hand and my grip and everything, and just seeing what would be like, the most comfortable for me, and end up flying the way I'm looking for it to fly. So yeah, it was a really cool experience, and one that I'm grateful for.
Great. Let's dive into talking about the season here. Obviously, we're very close to the LVC. You said you were here for, I think I even saw on social media, yeah, you've been here for like a week or two before, just trying to get in that extra work?
Yeah. The weather's nice here, and it seemed like a great place to be a little early, to start really getting in, start really getting those reps in. And I didn't play a ton of rounds at Wild Horse, but I was playing some at Sunset, and there's even a cool North Las Vegas disc golf course that has lights on, so we played a couple rounds at like 6 and 7 p.m. under the lights, and that was a lot of fun. And then, I was in California for a few weeks before that. Been kind of chasing the good weather, trying to find nice places to throw discs and to get in a lot of reps.
Great. So this is the start of a full long season. What are your how do you plan to kind of go about this season with the short-term expectations and goals of placing well at tournaments, and the long-term goals of racking up enough points to be able to make the tour championship?
I wouldn't say I've ever been too concerned about my placing, like where I finish, or trying to set goals for, I really hope to make top 5 at this tournament or such. I'm more focused on trying to on trying to have like good tournaments from a mental standpoint, trying to maintain focus throughout rounds or even throughout whole tournaments, especially trying to not have any any lapses, not trying to get too discouraged, and I feel like if you can stay on top of the mental game like that, and put yourself in a really good mental place, and feel good about your body and feel good about your throws, that's when the good golf starts to really come together. And I'm confident that I'll be able to perform well this season. Even if I don't play amazing here, I think I could. Like, I just shot a filmed round on Innova. It was like a little new sponsor round. It was me and Thomas Gilbert and Austin Hannum and Ezra, and we played the Innova course. I was able to shoot about 12 down out there today, so feeling good about the game, and I think I could shoot well here. But if I don't, it's definitely not the end of the world, just getting comfortable and feeling good about my game.
Yeah. Mahmood, do you have anything?
Yeah, James, you're not that far removed from being a United States champion with Innova discs in your hand, and you had a very successful season last year. What kind of motivated you to make the switch to MVP?
If I heard right, sir, there's a golf cart. You're asking what motivated me to switch to MVP?
You were very successful with Innova. What was the motivating factor for you to make the switch to a different manufacturer?
There wasn't like a single thing that made me like want to leave Innova, or that really made me like feel drawn to MVP, but I felt somewhat stuck in my ways. I had been kind of doing the same stuff year in and year out. I hadn't really been focusing on building my personal brand or putting myself out there, and it was comfortable at Innova. It wasn't too. I don't feel like they ever asked too much of me. They just wanted me to go out and play the best golf I could, and that's what I was doing, and it was a blast. But I feel like in order to kind of jumpstart some of the changes and start putting myself more out there, it made sense to, align myself with a company where I'd be a little more important, and where they'd be pushing me to do those kind of things a little bit more. So, I guess it seemed like I'd be a bigger benefit to MVP than I would be for a loss to Innova. So I feel like that was kind of a factor in it too. It's cool to feel like I can have a big impact on the company that I represent.
Great.
Sorry. That's super interesting. I feel like with your Innova bag, I feel like you were throwing the same discs almost for the entire time you've been on tour. I feel like I know your bag between the purple MD4, the Ching Rock, your swirly Naibo T-Bird.
Mm-hmm.
How has that process been these first few weeks with MVP? Are you starting to get like new loved ones? Like, are we going to see the same MVP disc like a couple of years from now and be like, oh, that's James Conrad's Volt or whatever?
It was always fun how people could recognize my whole bag like that, and starting fresh with something new, I could definitely see certain discs, becoming my staples and something I rely on like week in and week out. But at times I almost felt like that was a crutch, and that, because I liked that T-Bird so much that I'd throw it even if it wasn't the best disc for the shot. So I think having a little more, a little less of that bias, like, oh, I really love this disc and I really love this disc. I think looking at it a little more objectively could be beneficial in the long run. But I'm sure there'll still be some envies, or, like you said, maybe a Volt that I just get super comfortable with and that everyone will be seeing really often.
Awesome. So this move also kind of serves as a growing opportunity for you as well.
Yeah, this definitely feels like an opportunity for me to grow. On the course, I feel like there's infinite room to continue to grow, whether it's mental game or in your physical abilities. But there's a lot of ways to grow off the course too, and I feel like making a big switch in terms of sponsor switch, it was kind of easy to jumpstart some of the other things that are beneficial, like putting my own website out with some of the James Conrad merch, which you can find on jamesconraddiscgolf.com. Just little things like that were kind of easier to get the ball rolling on that when I was already making a big switch.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, James Conrad, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we are here with Kevin Jones, Disc Golf Pro Tour 2020 champion, on the just a couple nights away from the first round of the Elite Series at the Las Vegas Challenge. How was your off season, and how are you feeling coming into this event?
My off season was enjoyable. It was a little bit stressful because I was working on a van this entire off season, so kind of preparing for my method of travel. But it all worked out amazing. The two guys that I had get it done, shout out to Team Cedar Creek, did an incredible job, and honestly, it's very impressive, and it feels like an amazing home for me. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Last weekend we were at the All-Star game. you and Ricky were paired up together, and I just remember after the front nine, they were all like, "Get those cameras over to that card. They are an absolute riot." How was that for you that weekend? Was that a lot of fun for you?
So enjoyable. I can't describe it at all, but it was so special being put up by the Disc Golf Pro Tour and having a sweet resort to stay in, be relaxed, but also enjoy this cool format that we were playing. It was competitive. Everybody had a chance, and unfortunately, I kind of hurt our team a little bit on the first day, but Rick and I are really good buddies. We're always practicing together, and we're always giving each other a hard time, so it was awesome.
Yeah, great. Yeah, where does that come from? I mean, you and Rick were really just going at each other. You were teammates,
Oh, yeah.
but is that a way for you guys just kind of pump each other up and motivate? Or you're like, "Oh, no, I'll show you"?
No, well, for sure. I mean, I'm playing percentages personally. Like, when I compete against Rick all the time for fun, we're always talking trash. For example, like, right before he putts, like, I'm going to tell him, "Dude, you have no chance. Like, you're going to miss. Don't miss high." Just telling him things like that. And so the thing is, it never works with Ricky Wysocki. Like, he's so good, and it only puts him into a better mindset in order to make that putt. So I was telling him constantly, "Rick, you're going to shank this putt. Rick, you're going to mess up this drive." And every time he answered.
Nice. That's awesome, man. So from All-Star game to LVC, have you gotten out there, gotten the rounds in, and how's your game feeling? How are the courses looking?
I've now been preparing for this tournament for a few weeks, almost a month. I really enjoy it out here. The courses are great. They're so clean cut. They're fun shots. You get to open up a little bit. Lots of sidearms. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to compete again.
Yeah. How do these courses set up for you? You obviously have a power game, big drives. Is that going to just play into your hand right this weekend?
It definitely sets up nicely for me. I've always finished, I think, pretty great at this tournament. So I would like to have my best finish this weekend. Something in the top 5 would be well acceptable for me.
Great. Yeah. How do you kind of balance that whole? This is the first tournament of the year, but it's also a long season ahead of you. How do you manage, just manage your game, manage your, physical fitness, just how do you manage all the things for a long season?
Yeah.
When there's placement and there's also tour points and all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of it is that in my mind kind of takes some stress off of the game, because what happens at this tournament does not matter what happens throughout the year. It's just one tournament of the many that we play. And so that helps me look at this event and not be so stressed out about this hole, that hole, this shot, that shot. Instead, I can really I can see past it and just take what I'm given. As far as my health and everything, though, Disc Golf Strong is really important to me, and keeping my joints ready and stable and my abs active so that I've got a supported body so that I'm not just swinging unsupported.
Yeah, it looks like it's working, because you had another little slip there on one of your throws. I remember it looked very similar to your ace at Maple.
That was a hard one, but somehow I snapped it so hard I don't even know.
Yeah, well, you seem strong, because obviously you're not hurt or anything like that, so that's great. So let's talk a little bit about the van.
Cool.
You were how were you traveling before, and what's different now, and how are you feeling about the situation?
Yeah, I've done multiple ways of traveling. I've done almost every way that you can do. I've done RV, and I've done my car, and I've also done, last year I did a truck and a camper. Really nice setup. When it's all set up, it was honestly very nice. But the problem is it's just a little too bulky, and I become stressed out on Mondays, because I have to get this thing alone to the next spot, set up somewhere that always needs a campsite or some big area to park it in. So I was just a little too stressed out last year with that. And the van has absolutely answered that. So I'm able to park at any Cracker Barrel or any Walmart or anywhere, and you can't even tell. It's stealthy. I can park at the course, and you'll never know. So I love it, honestly.
Yeah, great. Mahmood, do you have anything?
Mahmood.
Yeah, Kevin, I saw you got a new DJ setup. What was that like? I saw you post stuff about mixing some tracks.
Yeah, so I mean, that's been one of my favorite hobbies the past year is learning how to make music on my computer. And so my van actually has set up perfectly for that. I've got speakers in there that I can point inwards or outwards if I want to like play music for people or if I just want to play for myself. I've got a guitar on board. People like Nico and other players have musical talents as well, and it's great to have them in the van. And like we're gonna try to make some cool collaborations and everything. I'm new to it, but I'm getting better quickly. I've got a lot of great people that are very helpful with that process. So it's been amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. One of your best friends is now on the team, Austin Hannum. What's it been like kind of teaching him his new Prodigy discs? How many of your old discs are in his bag? What have those conversations been like?
I gave him a little care package when I first heard that he was coming on the team because it's important. It's important that players like him or Thomas, anybody coming to that top level of the team, they need to have the good stuff immediately right when they start. It's just important, so it helps that learning process because switching a bag in one off season is actually it's really difficult to do. But at the same time, it's a fun thing to do. It's fun to learn these new discs and create a new arsenal to attack the game.
Awesome, dude. And one last question for you. You kind of made this like really beautiful progression up the ranks to now last year you've won 2 huge events. You won the GMC, beat everybody, and you won the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, biggest check in the sport. What's the next step on the mountain? It feels like you're like basically at the top now. What's next?
Well, luckily for me, I don't see it like that, but I'm very excited by the future. I do keep improving every year, and I don't think that's going to change this year. I feel even better about my game at this time than I felt last year. I feel really comfortable with all my shots, and my putt's looking great as well. So I guess I feel less pressure this year. I feel like I'm happy with where I'm going, and I'm not stressed out about improving. I think it's going to just come.
Great. All right, Kevin Jones, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you guys for having me. See you next time.
All right. All right, we are here with Nate Sexton. Nate, it's great to see you out at a disc golf course right now. Obviously, taking the year off last year for good reasons. But what's it like to be back, getting ready for the tournament to start?
It's really exciting. I really missed everybody, and to get to come back out here at a tournament that's near and dear to my heart, and see everybody and be in the warm sun. Like, I haven't worn shorts. I say this every year, but I haven't worn shorts in months. So I'm really just excited.
Yeah. How's the game feeling? Were you able to, keep sharp over last year, or is some stuff to work on right now?
I feel good. I feel better than I thought I would. I've been able to play, certainly, and practice a little bit. But, I'm like, this COVID thing's been tough because my daughter out of daycare and my wife working so much. I've been basically, silver lining. I've been with my 3-year-old daughter like 24/7, but that means she's with me at the course almost every time, and I'm throwing, but am I practicing? That's debatable because it's like, hey daddy, hey daddy, hey daddy, all the time, and I love being there with her, but it hasn't been the same kind of off season that I'm used to. I'll say that, but I feel good. I'm happy.
Are we going to be seeing? Are you nurturing the 2040 whatever? FPO world champion, or how?
I hope. I mean, who knows? Hard to say. She's got a decent throw for a 3.5-year-old, I think. But yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I would love it if she was passionate about disc golf. That would be great.
Yeah, great, awesome, man. We're here at the Las Vegas Challenge. Obviously, 3 different courses. Difficult to prepare for all 3, or have you been here enough where you're familiar with them for the most part?
I would say it's a little difficult, but I am familiar with them, no question. I would say the most difficult thing about it for me is just like showing up in the desert and the way that your fingers and your lips react and just trying to be out in the sun. It's very harsh coming from rainy Washington and being there months and months. So it's about like just staying on top of, like, I'm just having to use so much hand lotion and different things to try to keep my fingers from cracking. That's one of the hardest parts preparing wise, just physically, because it's just kind of a tough conditions for somebody who's not used to this kind of dryness.
Sure. Being the defending MPO champion, is that weighing on you at all? Obviously, with the year it was last year, who is it? Does it change? Is it different? Does you feel like you got to defend anything?
Sure. I wouldn't say it weighs on me. I'm proud of that accomplishment, and I feel excited to have the honor to be back here. Being defending champion is a special thing. It doesn't happen all that often for me, or for anybody but a couple of guys. So being able to kind of soak that in, and everybody's, hey, so glad you're back, and it's fun. So I relish it, the chance to defend.
Mm-hmm. So not to look forward too much, but how are you approaching this whole year? Are you trying to hit as many events as possible, or how are you trying to manage all that?
I mean, I'm here because this is an Innova event. It's the kickoff for Jomez and the Pro Tour, and I'm the defending champion. I don't plan to travel again until the Dynamic Discs Open in April, COVID willing. So I'm not like, it's 2021 and everything's fine and I'm just out here now. That's not really how it is. So my daughter's still not back in daycare. My wife still works all the time. So it's hard. It's like we lean heavy on my parents. They're there now. They're going to get out of town before they see me on the way back in to reduce the exposure, since I'm here and obviously can't control my environment 100%. And I'm going to be on a plane. So it's a tough ask for them every time to come up 12 days and then do this shuffle and get me back into my own house. And so I wouldn't say that I'm going to be like a full-time tour guy right away, but I am really excited. The numbers seem to be trending the right way with COVID, and vaccines are coming for us regular Joes, I hope. And I'm going to start. It's just a tough decision when to put the kid back in daycare. I don't know. Hard ethical thing.
Mm-hmm. You have anything? No. Mahmoud, do you have anything?
Yeah. So, Nate, since you've been on, so many new players have joined the sport, especially because of COVID. Is there a little part of you that wants to say to all these newer players, like, hey, I know you don't know me because I wasn't around as much last year, but I'm one of the best players in the sport. Is there a little bit of that this weekend where you want to kind of show all these new fans that you're one of the best ever to do it?
Sure, yeah, I take that as a compliment. I would love to, yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope people are kind of digging back into the Jomez catalog a little bit if they're excited about the game through the winter. You need something to watch. There's a lot of great history and amazing shots there. So hopefully they kind of are aware of me through some of that. But absolutely, I'm excited. Be back out here on a big stage. I'm going to try my hardest to be right up there and stay up near the lead.
Awesome. That's all I got.
Nate, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right.